Hi, this video is for a debate on debate.org, and as per my opponent's request, this debate will take place in a Lincoln Douglas or LD value debate style. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with LD debate, before I actually get into, my case, I'm going to talk about a little bit about LD and explain it to you. Well, first of all, LD, like I said before, is a value debate, and so before you have your contentions, you have a value and a criterion. Now, the value is kind of like a scope, what you have to do to look at the resolution in order to come to a decision over which is better. In this case, free trade should be valued over protectionism. So the value is going to be how you view the debate, the scope of what you view the debate, what's the highest value you look towards. And the criterion is how you achieve your value. It's the weighing mechanism for when you know that you've achieved your value, or it can just simply be, like I said, how you achieve your value. So in order to win today's debate, not only does the affirmative have to prove that free trade should be valued above protectionism, but they must do it through their value. And accordingly, not only must the negative prove that protectionism should be valued above free trade, but I must do it through my value. Now, actually, I say that, but for the negative to win today's debate, I do not actually have to prove protectionism above free trade, as that's not what the resolution asks us to debate. The resolution says free trade should be valued above protectionism, meaning that the burden of the affirmative is to show us that free trade should indeed be valued above protectionism, but as the negative, all I have to do is show you that it should not, which means I can have protectionism above free trade. It also means that I can have them on the same level. All I have to do is show you that in no means should it be valued above free trade. So first of all, let's go to the affirmative case. My opponent offers you the value of quality of life with the criterion of majority rule. Now, my opponent contends that if we look towards quality of life, the free trade is going to be the best system in order to uphold this value. And the way we do this is by majority rule. However, I'm going to say that this is a huge fallacy. And accordingly, in order to best weigh this debate, the negative is also going to uphold the same value and the criterion, meaning the negative upholds the value of quality of life and the criterion of majority rule. Now, my opponent offers you three contentions in order to prove free trade above protectionism. And accordingly, in advocating this, he says that quality of life is going to be better. However, once again, this is untrue. And now, as the negative, I offer you this one sole contention, which I'm going to use to combat all of my opponent's contentions in terms of quality of life. Sex trafficking. You see, through free trade, we allow sex trafficking to flourish, and people are being kidnapped and sold into sex slavery every single day, which they are demoralized. Their quality of life is dramatically lowered, and we take human worth and we take it to this level where it's not worth anything. And that's what the affirmative case through free trade is asking you to do. That's what you're going to have if you look towards the affirmative case. So with this said, I'm going to go down to my opponent's contention 1. Free trade prevents war. Now, my opponent, obviously, in this contention, he's not referring to the kind of war that we face every day, in which people are having their humanity devalued, in which people are being stolen away from their families. He's talking, of course, about international war, the kind that catches the media's attention. However, as I said before, linking this back to sex trafficking, every single day, people are being stolen from their friends, from their families, and being sold into this highly lucrative illegal business. And it's all because of free trade, because we don't enact protectionist policies in order to protect our free trade, in order to have these higher quotas and have these higher standards on them. Now, going to contention 2. Free trade improves the quality of life. Is that so? So my opponent would have you believe that someone being sold into some kind of sexual slavery in which they lose their free will, in which they lose all of their humanity, this is a good quality of life? This is something we want to look to? Absolutely not. This is not a good quality of life. In fact, this is the lowest form of quality that we can even begin to consider in terms of livelihood. Now finally, we look at my opponent's last contention. Free trade is in the best interest of the majority. This is absolutely untrue. Now, I am almost assured that my opponent is going to try to rebuke this by saying, okay, my opponent's just going to link it to sex trafficking again. Such a small majority portion of the society is actually a victim of sex trafficking. But that's not true. Even if you yourself are not being stolen and forced into this horrible business, your morality, your human worth is still going to be devalued. You're still going to come to this point where we're valuing money above human life, above the quality of life. And at this point, this is a system that we should not look towards. And so, in closing, which should be valued more, free trade or protectionism? Well, we can see that by no means should free trade be valued above protectionism, but we can actually, beginning through this system, we can see a small means by which we actually have to value protectionism above free trade. Thusly, my opponent does not meet his burden of proof. He does not prove free trade above protectionism, so you must vote for the con in today's debate. Thank you.